Hello there, you're watching All 24 News World News Program. This is your host Islam Sid. To the headlines. President Abdelmajid Tebboune leads Army Day tribute, honoring veterans and martyrs, celebrating the enduring bond between the people and the heirs of the Liberation Army. Also non-news in Gaza, 10 martyred in bombings and 5 die of starvation in 24 hours. The resistance demands food for hostages deal as famine deepens. And in Morocco, mass marches slam Zionist arms shipments. Activists accuse Makhzen of enabling genocide and silencing anti-normalization voices. Later on, White House holds firm on tariffs. Trump threatens India over Russian oil, and Canada pushes for urgent talks to avoid full-blown dispute. All this and more shortly. Welcome back to the program. First off, in our news tonight, President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, who also serves as Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of National Defense, presided over Monday's celebrations marking National Army Day, observed each year on August 4th. The ceremony took place at the National Army Club, where President Tebboune was received by Army General Saïd Chengriha, Chief of Staff of the Algerian Army and Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense. On the same occasion, under the slogan, the National People's Army, the loyal descendant and the strong shield, President Abdelmajid Tebboune honored retirees of the National Liberation Army, paying heartfelt tribute to the families of martyrs, disabled veterans, and those severely wounded in counter-terrorism operations. The ceremony wrapped up with a family photo alongside the honorees before the President's departure from the National Army Club.
المجاهد المقدم الحاج كشكار عائلة العميد الشهيد بن صالح
Similarly, Army General Saïd Chengriha, Chief of Staff of the Algerian Army and Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense, affirmed that the People's National Army will always remain a loyal servant of the nation. Speaking Monday at the National Army Club in Nimasous during celebrations marking the 4th anniversary of the Algerian Army Day, General Chengriha highlighted the Army's unwavering presence at the heart of the national life, standing shoulder to shoulder with the people during the pivotal moments of Algeria's history.
وتمكنوا من حماية الشعب إن الجيش الوطني الشعبي
Since its restructuring on August 4th, 1962, the People's National Army has always been at the heart of the events shaping our country. It has stood side by side with the people during critical moments, serving as a bulwark against any attempts to undermine national unity or violate our land and borders. The Army has thwarted all vile plots aimed at weakening the Algerian state, its foundations, and its symbols. This army, whose members are deeply rooted in values of loyalty and absolute allegiance to the state and its institutions, will always remain a faithful servant of the nation. Its soldiers continue to write the letters of victory with their sacrifices, drawing inspiration from the heroic legacies of their forebears.
At the end of the day, President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense Abdelmajid Tebboune wrapped up the National People's Army Day celebrations at the Ibn Masous Army Club. At the close of the ceremony, Army Chief of Staff and Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense, Army General Said Shingriha, formally bid farewell to the President, marking the conclusion of the commemorative event. National People's Army Day is a commemorative date established by President Abdelmajid Tebboune to honor the sacred bond between the people and their army and to recognize the military's vital role in nation building and safeguarding national unity and sovereignty. More with Karim Fazakri now.
August 4th marks Army Day in Algeria, a day of pride, remembrance, and deep connection between the people and their military. It's a moment to honor the Army's vital role in shaping the country, protecting its unity, and keeping peace both at home and beyond our borders. Over the years, Algeria has built a strong, capable military, one that stands as a solid shield, defending the nation's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Today's Army proudly carries the legacy, values, and fighting spirit of the National Liberation Army. Fully aware of the challenges of our time and the uncertainties ahead, Algeria has made defense a top priority. The military has undergone major modernization in recent years, with a sharp focus on advanced training, cutting-edge technology, and combat readiness. The results speak for themselves. The Army has been especially effective in fighting terrorism and cracking down on organized crime. In a region facing complex security threats and global shifts that could affect national stability, Algeria's army stands strong as the backbone of national defense. With firm leadership and clear purpose, it's ready to face any danger that comes its way. But the Army's mission goes beyond defense. It also plays a key role in Algeria's development, supporting the economy, helping build national industries, and driving efforts towards self-sufficiency in vital sectors. Army Day, declared by President of the Republic Abdelmajid Tebboune, marks the historic moment when the National Liberation Army officially became the National People's Army on August 4th, 1962. More than just a date on the calendar, it's a powerful reminder that Algeria's army remains a loyal guardian, a guarantor, committed to unity, sovereignty, and the future of the nation.
Shifting focus to Gaza now, medical sources say at least 29 Palestinians, including children, were killed on Monday as Zionist bombardments struck displaced families in Gaza City and northern areas. 6 members of one family died in central Gaza, while 5 more were killed in Khan Yunis. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, 94 people have died and 439 others were wounded in the past 24 hours alone, pushing the overall toll since October 7th to 60,933 killed and 150,027 injured. In Gaza still, Israeli occupation forces opened fire on crowds at 8 distribution points on Monday, killing at least 27 Palestinians and injuring dozens more. At Al-Auda Hospital in central Gaza, doctors confirmed 11 dead and over 50 wounded near a food aid center south of Wadi Gaza. Further south, 13 people were killed when Zionist troops targeted civilians seeking aid north of Rafah. In the north, 3 more were killed or were shot dead, with 15 injured. The Gaza Health Ministry, meanwhile, says 29 aid seekers have been killed in the past 24 hours, bringing the toll from such attacks to 1,516 dead and over 10,067 wounded since the US-backed aid operation began under occupation control. The Health Ministry in Gaza also confirmed that 5 more Palestinians, including an infant, Sanad Mohammed Saad, have died from starvation and malnutrition within just 24 hours. This brings the toll of hunger-related deaths to 180, among them 93 children. The ministry also reported 3 additional deaths from Guillain-Barré syndrome on Monday, a rare neurological condition linked to atypical infections worsened by prolonged malnutrition under the ongoing Zionist blockade. The carnage in Gaza shows no signs of stopping. Hunger is claiming lives by the hour, and for those it doesn't kill, bullets might. Zionist occupation forces opened fire on Palestinians desperately crowding around food aid, killing at least 8 and injuring dozens more. Here's Zahra Farjani with a report.
In central Gaza, hunger no longer knocks gently, it shoots to kill. This Monday morning, Zionist troops opened fire on Palestinians trying to reach a food distribution site. Witnesses say at least 8 people were killed and 50 wounded near the Netzarim corridor, hundreds of meters from the distribution site operated by a US-backed organization.
This aid is there to kill. We don't want this American aid. We want UNRWA to return to delivering aid to us. Honestly, UNRWA was enough for our household needs. But this is a massacre. Our children come to die. Our children return dead. They return carried. For what? For a few chickpeas. Enough. Have mercy on us. O Arab countries, just as your children are precious to you, our children are also precious to us. My son will be 25 and he will return to killed.
Aid groups and the United Nations have warned that the Zionist blockade and genocidal war have crippled all reliable aid delivery. Hundreds have died trying to collect food, whether from convoys or aid-dropped packages that too often cause chaos and injury.
I came to collect aid. I returned with 1.5 kilos of flour, not enough for 8 people. If I distributed it among 8 people, each one would get a loaf of bread. We're unable to even bring food for our children. We leave at 5:30 a.m. or 4 a.m. and we get nothing. That's in addition to the martyrs and the wounded.
While several countries have turned to aid drops, experts say these are not only dangerous and inadequate, but a sign of failed diplomacy. What Gaza needs are open land routes, not symbolic gestures that feed few and endanger many.
At another front, Abu Ubaidah, spokesperson for Hamas Qassam Brigade, said the group is willing to let the Red Cross help Israeli prisoners on one condition. Israel must permanently open humanitarian corridors and halt airstrikes during aid deliveries. He denied accusations of deliberate starvation, insisting captives receive the same meager rations as Hamas fighters and Gaza civilians. Abu Ubaidah stressed that under Israel's siege, there would be no special privileges for prisoners amid a man-made famine.
Al-Qassam does not deliberately starve the prisoners, but they eat from the same food available to its fighters and the general Palestinian population. We are ready to respond positively to any request from the Red Cross to bring food and medicine to the Israeli prisoners in Gaza. However, we condition this on the opening of humanitarian corridors in a normal and permanent way to allow food and medicine to reach all our people across the Gaza Strip. Israeli prisoners will not receive special privileges while our people are suffering from starvation and siege.
For his part, Hamas Political Bureau member Izzat al-Rishq accused occupation's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of trying to eliminate the issue of Israeli prisoners in Gaza Strip through starvation and bombing after failing to locate them. In a Sunday statement on Telegram, al-Rishq said Israel's war of hunger and thirst is also harming the captives, insisting that Qassam fighters are doing their utmost to care for them under the siege conditions. In the occupied West Bank, 2 Palestinians were killed on Monday during a Zionist mortar or military raid in Jenin, according to Palestinian media. Occupation forces stormed the area, surrounded a house near the town of Qabatiyya, and bombed it after a Palestinian man took refuge inside, killing him and seizing his body. A second martyr's body was later recovered from the same town, bringing the death toll from the raid to 2. Moving on to another story, but still in the Middle East. In southern Lebanon, a Zionist drone strike on the town of Khiyam killed 1 Lebanese man and injured 4 others, according to a Monday statement from the Lebanese Ministry of Health. The victims suffered varying degrees of injuries in the attack. Elsewhere, the Yemeni Houthi group announced 3 military operations targeting sites in the occupied cities of Jaffa and Asqalan. In a video statement Sunday evening, military spokesman Yahya Sari said Houthi drones struck 2 military targets in response to the genocide and starvation in Gaza Strip, as well as the Zionist storming and desecration of Al-Aqsa Mosque. All the way to Africa now. Security forces in northern Morocco cracked down on a protest late Sunday night in the city of Tangier. Demonstrators took to the streets to denounce the passage of ships reportedly carrying weapons bound for the Zionist entity. More with Salman Sibla.
Tangier, Morocco chants of the regime, stands with the Zionists, and the ship is the proof, rang out through the streets as Moroccans rallied against the docking of Zionist arms ships at Tangier's port, vessels believed to be fueling the ongoing assault on the besieged population of Gaza.
This is the last time we witness the exploitation of the resources of our pure country. Enough is enough. The authorities are complicit in destroying Moroccan resources through letting the Zionist enemy entering our country.
In a mass rally described as popular trial of Morocco's ruling regime, the Makhzen, protesters denounced the use of national ports to support the Zionist military, calling it a desecration of Moroccan land and a betrayal of the Palestinian cause. Despite a heavy security presence aimed at provoking clashes and arresting protest organizers near the Mediterranean port, demonstrators remained peaceful and avoided confrontation.
We join hands to stability and to bring down normalization. And why not bring down the Makhzen as well? Enough is enough. As Moroccans, we are determined to overthrow the Makhzen that threatens our country.
The protest evolved into an overnight sit-in where participants pledged to escalate actions and to normalization with the Zionist ends, and the regime is held accountable for its alignment with what they view as war crimes. Tangier's protest, like other across Morocco, was a loud rejection of the Makhzen's cooperation with the Zionist enemy, despite its public claims of supporting Palestine.
On the same note, protesters in Tangier lashed out at Morocco's Makhzen regime Sunday night, accusing it of complicity in the Zionist entity's war on Gaza. Demonstrators condemned the passage of Western arms shipments through Moroccan ports and demanded an immediate end to the docking of weapons-laden ships. Activists called for nationwide mobilization to pressure authorities into halting support for the ongoing genocide. In another regional story, speaking at a Sahrawi leadership conference in Boumerdès, Ahmed Mohammed Naf'i, head of the Sahrawi Workers' Union, reaffirmed that only the Sahrawi people hold the legitimate right to self-determination. In an interview with All24 News, Naf'i denounced the Moroccan regime's attempts to buy legitimacy through bribes to Western powers, dismissing these efforts as hollow and unlawful. He further condemned the Makhzen as a tool of foreign forces, enabling what he described as Morocco's illegal occupation of the Sahrawi territories.
من يملك السيادة، من يملك حق تقرير المصير هو الشعب الصحراوي. the only holder of the right to sovereignty and the right to self-determination in the Sahrawi people. Moroccan positions, despite investing in buying off consciences or adapting themselves to the language of interests, cannot obscure the truth. Let the Moroccan occupation be known for what it is, a functional system serving Western powers, which were in remaining and driving force behind Morocco's invasion and continued occupation of Western Sahara.
To another developing news story. The White House is standing firm on its latest round of tariffs, refusing to revisit the measures unless new trade deals are on the table. Yasin Rekti reports now.
The United States' latest wave of tariffs has triggered mounting concern among its global trade partners, as Washington rules out any revisions unless new agreements are reached. White House Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett confirmed the administration's firm stance, stating that recent tariffs will remain in place despite potential market volatility.
I was with the president almost every day, and that's what we're talking about is data. We're looking, and I'm on the trade side, of course, and we're looking at import figures, export figures, investment levels, etc. And that's how we're making this decision.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump intensified pressure on India, threatening significant tariffs over its purchases and alleged resale of Russian crude oil. In a Truth Social post, he accused India of undermining US sanctions by profiting from discounted Russian oil on global markets.
India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, they are then, for much of the oil purchase, selling it on the open market for big profits. I don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the USA.
However, Canada has reacted swiftly, revealing plans for high-level talks with the US after a 35% tariff was imposed on Canadian goods outside the NAFTA framework. Trade Minister Dominique LeBlanc said discussions between Prime Minister Mark Carney and Trump could happen within days.
We were pleased the United States is respecting the terms of the USMCA agreement. That's vital, we think, to the cost of living and affordability, certainly in the United States. It's true in Canada as well. So we're going to continue to do the work. We left always with a better understanding of the American concerns in the trading relationship. Ambassador Greer, Secretary Lutnick engaged with us in constructive, cordial conversation. So we're prepared to stick around and do the work needed.
Switzerland and South Africa have also voiced strong opposition. Swiss Economy Minister warned of potential shifts in trade strategy to counterbalance a 35% deficit. On the other side, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa condemned the 30% tariffs on his country's exports, calling them unjustified and harmful. As frustration grows, Washington's actions risk deepening global divisions and pushing trade relationships to the brink.
To another development in Africa now, the United Nations Security Council was set to hold private consultations on Monday to address the worsening political and humanitarian crisis in Sudan. The closed-door meeting comes at the joint request of Denmark and the United Kingdom as concern grows over the spiraling conflict. A top UN political affairs official is expected to brief council members on the rapidly deteriorating security conditions and the dire state of humanitarian aid on the ground. In Tehran, Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Ismail Baghai has reaffirmed that Iran will not enter direct or serious negotiations with Washington. Speaking at a Monday press briefing, Baghai warned of consequences should the U.S. move to reimpose sanctions. He also stated that cooperation with the IAEA will be guided by parliamentary decisions, adding that Iran is reassessing its engagement with the nuclear watchdog following the recent attack on its nuclear facilities. Let's catch up on more international news stories in the News in Brief with Sofian Kantari.
Libya's High National Elections Commission has set Saturday, the official date for municipal council elections in 51 municipalities across the country. In a statement on Monday, the commission said it has issued 23 decisions to advance the electoral process despite major challenges and disqualifies 60 candidates and 4 lists for failing to meet endorsement requirements. A Sudanese rights group reported that RSF forces killed at least 14 civilians and wounded dozens during an attack on a village near Al-Fashir in Darfur. Preliminary talks between Thailand and Cambodia defense officials started on Monday in Malaysia, ahead of a ministerial-level meeting on Thursday, as a fragile truce continued to hold a week after the two sides agreed on a ceasefire. The overnight eruption of the Krasheninnikov volcano in Kamchatka, its first in 600 years, may be connected to the huge earthquake that rocked Russia's Far East last week.
And that's the end of our news program for tonight. Good night.